One of the highest-grossing and most talked-about movies of the 2000s was an extremely controversial movie adaptation that wouldn't have the same impact if it were released today. The 2000s marked a transformative era for the global box office, characterized by the rise of massive, multi-installment franchises that reshaped how audiences consumed cinema. This decade saw the cinematic landscape dominated by sprawling epics like The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and it saw the beginnings of both the cinematic universe concept and the golden age of superhero movies with Jon Favreau's Iron Man and Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. The mid-2000s also featured a series of high-profile releases that thrived on intense public debate. Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ became a historic outlier, grossing over $611 million worldwide despite controversies surrounding its graphic violence and theological interpretations. Satirical comedies like Larry Charles's Borat became cultural flashpoints that drew lawsuits and bans that only helped increase their status as must-watch social events. If movies like Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange and William Friedkin's The Exorcist had previously demonstrated how friction with authority and societal norms could be just as powerful a marketing tool as high-budget marketing plans, the turn of the millennium only underlined this idea with controversial box office hits like Ron Howard's The Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code was a massive hit for its Tamiya conspiracy thriller book adaptation challenged Pirates of the Caribbean at the box office. In May 2006, Ron Howard's movie adaptation of Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code shattered expectations for a dense, dialogue-heavy mystery thriller. Domestically, The Da Vinci Code roared to a $77 million opening weekend, but its true power was felt internationally, where it became a genuine phenomenon. By the end of its run, it amassed over $767 million worldwide and secured its place as the second highest-grossing movie of the year, trailing only Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest's $1.06 billion and surpassing X-Men, The Last Stand's $460 million. The Da Vinci Code's theatrical dominance was fueled by a relentless must-see word of mouth that bypassed traditional critical approval. Critics pointed out the movie's uneven pacing and exposition, but the general public was captivated by the plot's suspenseful tone and puzzle solving. The sheer curiosity sparked by Robert Langdon's race through the Louvre on the big screen turned cinemas into communal hubs for amateur sleuths and casual fans alike. Though Dan Brown's book was already a bestseller, Ron Howard's movie adaptation triggered a secondary explosion in sales that helped the novel reach a staggering 80 million copies sold worldwide. The Da Vinci Code fever bled into every corner of pop culture and inspired everything from themed travel tours in Europe to endless television specials analyzing the history behind the movie and book. For a brief moment in the mid-2000s, virtually every bookstore was decorated with the red-filtered face of the Mona Lisa. The Da Vinci Code's controversies helped make it a 2000s phenomenon. The Da Vinci Code proved any publicity is good publicity. The Da Vinci Code's massive success is inextricably linked to the fierce condemnation it received from religious institutions, which inadvertently served as a global marketing engine. High-ranking officials within the Vatican and organizations like Opus Dei publicly called for boycotts and requested disclaimers. These denunciations helped the Da Vinci Code go from a popular summer mystery to a transgressive cultural event, drawing in millions of curious viewers who wanted to witness the content that had caused such outrage. A constant stream of headline news ensured the 2006 thriller remained the primary topic of conversation months before a single ticket was even sold. The alternative history regarding Jesus Christ's lineage and the role of the Priory of Chauen were at the center of the Da Vinci Code's controversies. The conspiracy Robert Langdon investigates entails a centuries-old cover-up by the Church, which tapped into the mid-2000s zeitgeist of skepticism toward traditional authority. Religious groups held conferences to refute the film's historical and theological claims, yet these efforts often backfired by increasing the public's fascination with the allegedly forbidden knowledge depicted on screen. The tension was palpable enough that the movie was banned or delayed in several countries, including parts of India and the Philippines. Not even the Da Vinci Code sequels could match the success of the original. The Da Vinci Code left the bar too high for its own franchise. Although Ron Howard's subsequent adaptations of Dan Howard's thrillers weren't flops by any means, they came nowhere near the Da Vinci Code's box office and pop culture impact. In 2009, Angels and Demons arrived with a healthier critical reception, as many reviewers felt Howard refined the pacing issues to create a more effective thriller. However, despite being a financial success with a global haul of $485 million, it was a significant drop-off from the original's $767 million. By the time Inferno was released in 2016, the franchise's momentum had visibly stalled. The third installment earned just $220 million worldwide, a fraction of the debut's earnings. Following the cinematic explosion of the mid-2000s, Dan Brown's 2009 follow-up novel, The Lost Symbol, broke records by selling over 1 million copies in its first day alone, fueled by years of pent-up Da Vinci anticipation. Yet, while it was a massive bestseller with around 30 million copies in print by 2013, it never quite achieved the inescapable, multi-year cultural saturation of its predecessor. Subsequent releases like Inferno and Origin continued to top bestseller lists, but the sales figures and the intensity of discourse surrounding them gradually returned to more traditional levels for high-tier thrillers. Comparing the sequels to the original reveals a franchise that eventually succumbed to the law of diminishing returns. The Da Vinci Code benefited from a perfect storm of controversy, a fresh secret history premise, and a global curiosity that its successors could only approximate. While Dan Brown's later books and their respective movie adaptations remained profitable and maintained a dedicated fanbase, they didn't reach the Da Vinci Code's highs. The Da Vinci Code is one of the last adaptations of its kind. Few non-sci-fi book adaptations have been as big as the Da